These days, it seems there is a top 10 list for almost everything. The FBI has its list, as do collegiate and professional sports, not to mention the entertainment industry, from music to film. Against this backdrop, we thought it only fitting to create our own top 10 list of estate planning mistakes. Potholes are just part of life on the road. Some potholes, however, can be life-threatening. Fortunately, however, even deadly potholes can be avoided once you know where they are. So it is with estate planning mistakes. Our objective, given the limitations of time, is to warn you about 10 fatal estate planning mistakes before it's too late. The danger posed by any given mistake will vary depending on your unique circumstances. And this list is by no means all-inclusive, but first a few disclaimers. This presentation does not constitute legal, accounting, or other professional advice. Only through a personal, confidential consultation with qualified legal counsel can anyone properly evaluate their own unique estate planning challenges and determine what, if any, appropriate legal strategies and tactics should be implemented to meet those challenges. Whew, the legal talk is now out of the way. Nothing in this presentation is intended or written to be used and cannot be used by any person for the purpose of avoiding tax penalties regarding any transactions or matters addressed herein. You should always seek advice from independent tax advisors regarding the same. Probably the most fatal mistake is the failure to plan, period. Statistically, according to a recent survey by Lawyers.com, 60% of Americans have no plan at all. You have probably heard the old adage, people don't plan to fail, they just fail to plan. Why do people fail to plan? Good old-fashioned procrastination. Considerate human nature. Who relishes facing the possibility of their future incapacity and the certainty of their own death? Nevertheless, estate planning requires taking personal responsibility to protect yourself and your hard-earned assets. Perhaps another reason people procrastinate is that estate planning requires working with an attorney. Too many people regard estate planning as merely an after-death distribution program for their assets. While this is an important component of proper planning, a comprehensive plan has incapacity planning as its foundation. The law requires every adult American to make their own personal health care and financial decisions. However, if you have not legally appointed the agent, decision-maker of your own selection in advance of your incapacity, then you likely are destined for the probate court. In the probate court, a judge who may not know you or your wishes will decide who is to make these fundamental decisions for you. This process may be expensive and may invade your privacy by making your personal and financial circumstances a matter of public record. Silver and gold aside, children are our most valuable assets. Parents often devote considerable time and treasure to see that their minor children are educated, involved in social and athletic activities, and receive religious instruction. If you have minor children, or if you have minor grandchildren, who will care for them if they are orphaned? Who will be the backup parents? What instructions will they need to rear the children to adulthood? By the way, any instructions you leave behind at the airport on a napkin before your last flight will not be legal. No one values a dollar like the person who earned it. Without inheritance protection planning as part of your comprehensive estate plan, your hard-earned assets could be squandered by your surviving spouse's new spouse, your children or grandchildren, or lost to their divorces, lawsuits, or bankruptcies. Oh, by the way, if your family is a blended family, then the entire inheritance could end up going to your ex-spouse. Enough said. Under current law, a married couple may exempt up to $10.68 million of their estate value from federal death taxes, even without employing traditional estate planning techniques, such as A/B trusts. Subject to certain procedural hoops and red tape for decedents dying in 2014, the estate tax exemption may be carried over via this portability from one spouse to another. However, this exemption amount is not automatic. For example, an estate tax return must be filed with the IRS within 9 months of death, even if the estate is well below $5.34 million, or the exemption is lost. Bottom line, without careful legal planning, only $5.34 million may be exempted for a married couple. Accordingly, careful monitoring of the economic, political, and legal climate is required. What is the cost of complacency? Many married taxpayers will only read the headlines and falsely believe that their estates are automatically protected up to $10.68 million. Note, the future of this exemption amount is uncertain, as is the future of the estate tax itself. Now more than ever, it is essential to have qualified legal counsel to keep you up to date. Watch out for state death taxes too. A growing number of states have decoupled their exemption amounts from the federal exemption amount to help meet shortfalls in state budgets. Life insurance is a fundamental financial tool for most Americans. It serves purposes ranging from supporting surviving family members to providing liquidity to satisfy federal or state death tax obligations or myriad other uses. One of the greatest tax myths is that life insurance death benefits are tax-free. Fact: death proceeds are income tax-free if paid to the beneficiary in a lump sum. Fact: death proceeds are not estate tax-free if the insured owned the policy within 3 years of death or retained other incidents of ownership. Bottom line, careful legal planning is required to remove the value of your life insurance from your estate. One of the greatest tax myths is that life insurance death proceeds are tax-free. Fact: death proceeds are income tax-free if paid to the beneficiary in a lump sum. Fact: death proceeds are not estate tax-free if the insured owned the policy within 3 years of death or retained other incidents of ownership. Bottom line, careful legal planning is required to remove the value of your life insurance from your estate. Real estate is subject to probate in the state where it is located. Accordingly, if you own real estate outside your home state, then you could be facing probate in multiple states. This can be avoided through proper legal planning in advance. Due to the unprecedented strength of the overall economy over the past several decades, much of American wealth is in the form of qualified retirement plans. The laws governing the creation, accumulation, and distribution of qualified retirement plans are some of the most complicated in the Internal Revenue Code. Without careful coordination between your financial plan and your estate plan, more than 50% of your qualified retirement plans could go to the IRS instead of your loved ones in the form of income and estate taxes. One of the essential elements in a comprehensive financial and estate plan is the proper designation of your qualified retirement plan beneficiaries. Family businesses are the backbone of the U.S. economy. A whopping 90% of all U.S. businesses are family-owned or family-controlled. They generate half of the U.S. national gross product, pay half of all wages earned, and these businesses are very diverse in size too. They range from mom-and-pop stores to a third of the Fortune 500 on Wall Street. Despite these impressive statistics, family businesses have a dismal survival rate. Consider this: only 30% of family businesses survive the founding generation. If a family business survives the founding generation, it only has a 50% chance of surviving to the next generation. And at any given time, 40% of family businesses are in the process of transferring ownership. Big challenges facing owners of family business include these questions. Will the surviving spouse, if any, be dependent on the business for support? Are there children who are active versus others who are inactive in the business? How is the overall inheritance of the business owner to be apportioned? Will it be equally versus fairly apportioned? Are there non-family employees or competitors to purchase the business? Will there be sufficient cash liquidity to pay expenses and death taxes? One overlooked and therefore underutilized opportunity under the tax code to transfer wealth is the annual gift exclusion. This exclusion allows each taxpayer to transfer up to $14,000 each year and the future appreciation on those assets to as many individuals as they choose. There is no gift tax owed by either the transferor or the recipient. For estates potentially subject to death taxes, this is a wonderful way to reduce your estate tax liability and see your loved ones benefit while you're alive. In addition, you might consider using all or part of your $5.34 million lifetime gift exemption to maximize the benefit of your tax-free wealth transfer. Warning: no gifting program should be undertaken without competent legal advice to include regarding the carryover basis on gifts of appreciated assets. As promised, we have pointed out the 10 fatal estate planning mistakes, potholes if you will, so you can avoid them before it's too late. As you can see, these potholes should not be taken lightly, because unless you take time to examine them with the assistance of a qualified attorney, you cannot know how deep they are or how much damage they may cause you, your loved ones, or your hard-earned assets. It has been a pleasure to be here with you today, and I would welcome any opportunity to work with you. Thank you.